My name is Sophie Andrews, and this is my biome project for AP Environmental Science. The location of my biome is in Austin, Colorado, and it is the front yard of my property where I live. The first image here was taken during the summer of 2019. As you can see, the sky is pretty clear and blue. There are a few clouds, though. The vegetation is pretty green and everything's alive and living right now. And it continues to be that way throughout the summer, even though it's a little bit dry. So, a few plants that are found in my biome include aspen trees, lilacs, pine trees, lilies, rose bushes, and live forever. The scientific name for each of these plants is listed down below. I can't really pronounce them very well, but I did write them for you. The image on the right is actually a picture of what a live forever looks like. It's kind of a flowery plant, and it smells really good, and they mostly bloom during the summertime. The next image that I have is a picture of my biome during autumn of 2019. You can kind of tell that everything has kind of began to hibernate, especially the aspen tree seen in the background. It has shed its leaves and is it looks dead, but it's not actually, it's just kind of in a state of hibernation. You can see that the grass has kind of died off, and it looks kind of a brownish color, and everything kind of has that brown, gloomy tint to it. Some animals that are found in my biome are raccoon, skunk, pocket mice, coyote, mule deer, red foxes, killdeer, finches, sparrows, and hummingbirds. Again, the scientific names are listed below each of the actual animals. So this next image was taken during the winter of 2019. As you can see, obviously the pine trees in the background still have their needles on them, and the aspen tree still looks dead, but again, it's in a state of hibernation. And there's snow everywhere, and everything at this point that was living is dead now. And so some resources that can be found in my biome include water faucets, irrigation ditches, humans, obviously, and natural resources, and a dog bowl that we put outside for my dog when she goes out to play, I guess. So the water faucet is a resource because it tends to leak often, so it'll leave like a puddle of water that different insects and mammals can obviously use to drink. Human resources include like the bird feeder, which is the image on the far right. My dad usually sets out bird feeders for the birds because he loves to have his little birds around. So they can use that as a source of food. Natural resources include like the trees, the shrubs, the grass, the flowers, which hummingbirds would most likely eat off of, and other insects, and resources such as that would protect or provide for animals, insects, and reptiles, things like that. So this image was taken during the spring of 2020. As you can see, everything has kind of come back to life. Everything looks green and is full of new growth. And the sky is clear again. It's not really cloudy and gloomy like you can see in the winter picture. So human impacts on my biome include introducing of a variety of different plant life. So my mom likes to garden a lot, so she'll buy different types of flowers and vegetables and fruit and things like that, and she'll plant them where she would like them. vegetation control. So what I mean by that is like when I go out and I mow my backyard, or we keep certain weeds out so that they don't take over and make our yard look kind of uncontrolled and wild. Animal life. So because we did build a house where we did and we put fence up, some wildlife that used to be in that area can no longer reach the fenced off area, especially because we want to keep predators away from our dogs and cats and things like that. So water, we have an irrigation ditch that we usually irrigate our front and back field with, and that sometimes can run into the yard as well as water. So my biome has definitely increased in plant life because water has become so abundant. Construction is a human impact because I'm sure that there were different types of life forms like plants and animals that used to live in the area where my house and the fencing of my yard were at before we had obviously constructed a house, or there was a house constructed. So pollution, we definitely use fertilizers and weed killers for our yard, and sometimes that can leak into the water and kill other plants that we didn't want to kill, or sometimes even kill animals. So the evidence that I have on the bottom, there are a few images. They include a bird feeder for hummingbirds, and that my dad loves hummingbirds, so we try to keep them around as much as we can. Bird feeders, dog poop, vegetation, animal signs, and human evidence. So the fencing would be an example of human evidence, and as well as like building a deck and pouring a concrete walkway. So the last page is obviously my works cited, and I hope you liked it, and yeah, so that's it.